Hey, Happy New Year, staff. As we all know, it's been really challenging adjusting to these new teaching parameters and platforms. But one thing I can say for sure is that you guys are doing a great job of adapting and adjusting to enhance your lessons. So the lessons I was seeing in September do not even come close to what I'm seeing now. And that's partly because you guys do a great job collaborating and sharing your ideas. One lesson in particular that really stuck out for me was Veronica Reese's lesson on the Mayan, Aztec, and Incan empires. She created a digital notebook with tabs for each empire, similar to this, but in a digital format. Again, all digital, so the students were able to access it in their Chromebooks. They're able to add their own personal notes. They could upload pictures and anything that was relevant to them, so they could make these notes their own. And again, they were fully engaged. So kudos to you, Mrs. Reese.
The first person I'd like to give a shout out to, it's his first year here at Salem High School, and that is Mr. Spencer Garcia. What impressed me so much during an observation about Mr. Garcia, it was a day or two after we had done the Monday professional learning series on opportunities to respond. And I went into his classroom to do the observation. It was a 45-minute observation. And it was constant. He was constantly offering his students opportunities to respond to questions, give input. And after the observation, I went back and I did a few calculations, and it came out to Mr. Garcia was offering his students the opportunity to respond every 4 minutes. So huge shout out to superstar Mr. Spencer Garcia.
My first shout out goes to our school counselors for implementing innovative practices to pre-register our students for the 21-22 school year. Catherine Kressel took the lead on creating a Google form with all of our course offerings. Those results provided counselors with the information needed to have purposeful and insightful conversations with our students during their personalized registration meetings via Zoom. Great job, counselors, for keeping connected with our students and supporting them as they attain their academic goals through course selections.
Something else I saw that I absolutely thought was great was just students presenting information, really students acting as the teacher. And so I saw a great example of this in driver's ed where students were allowed to present, so they were given full control over the Zoom room to present a project, because then you had kids come up and they're talking about vehicle malfunctions. And so, what would I do if I was driving my car and my brakes stopped? And how do I do that safely? What do I do afterwards? And all of those things I thought were just incredible. And it was the kids presenting and driving that information and telling each other and talking about it and sharing experiences. And it really was an impactful lesson, and it was a powerful lesson.
The next shout out goes to the music department for their collaborative spirit. Even though our classes may look different, there is plenty of music to be heard and enjoyed. From Rick Kalanauskas bringing in Broadway musicians to work alongside our students, to Corbin Pinto's virtual caroling, and Andrew Smith students composing music, and don't forget Lynn German's chorus karate. Our students are being provided virtual opportunities to express themselves through music.
It's Heather Williams. So Heather's going to do a presentation for all of the math teachers on how to make a Jamboard. And I also recently observed one of her classes, and I could not believe the student-to-student interaction in that class. It was, quite frankly, the highest level of student-to-student interaction I've seen in the virtual setting. And after the observation, I asked her, what's your secret? I have to know your secret. How are you getting those kids to interact with each other so much? And Heather said, Jennifer, I think it's because I let those kids pick their own groups. And, I'm really proud of her for being able to let go of some of that control and saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to let the kids pick their groups. And it's been amazing. And the level of student-to-student interaction is proof to show how important letting go of a little bit of our control is, particularly in this virtual realm. But quite frankly, I think it's more than letting her students choose their own groups. she works so hard to front load everything, and she's an amazing chemistry PLC lead, and she just works so hard. And she would never say that about herself, though.
For me, the things that really drive me are seeing students take the lead. And so some of the things I've seen with that is I've watched students debate an incredible conversation about some very controversial topics like the death penalty, but were handled in a way where both social awareness and responsible decision making and self-awareness were all kind of at the core. And so you saw the castle competencies of the social emotional learning really kind of woven into the content. And it was just amazing to watch and listen to some of our students and how aware they were of what taking a certain position would mean in our society and how that could affect them. And that was amazing to me to see.